Hello, everyone. Do I even need the mic? I think I have a big voice.
It's okay. You want to lower it and then you've got your clicker here as well.
Okay. So my name is Cynthia Akwei from Business School, Liverpool Business School, and I'm a reader in international business and strategy. Today, I'm here to share a practical approach that I use in one of my papers, which is published in International Journal of Human Resource Management, 3-star paper. So when it comes to research, so this is the approach I'm going to take. Definitely, I'm going to look at how we define decolonization in research methods, what it is, and then I'll go on to how it's been applied. I only have 8 minutes, so I'm going to go over overview, just an overview, to show you the key things that we did and how it impacted on. Now, we use case study approach, and these are the 3 areas that I've emphasized, with particular emphasis on transformational praxis, because that would actually bring together the whole research. So what is research methodology decolonization? I like using visuals. So all my slides are visuals because it tells a story. Now, if you look at all the 4 pictures that I have, the first one are reality. You see the global north, how the research methodologies are high up there. And then the global south is the one that we can't even go over the fence. And that is what we are here to look at. And key thing now is that we are changing focus to center research on worldwide view. Now, what is decolonization of methodologies? It's actually refocusing, rethinking, reframing the research curricula and then the methodologies to include worldwide views, but not preserving the global north. So some people think decolonization means do away with everything that is global north and then focus on the global south. That is not correct. We are looking at what we call a convergent global view and a divergent local view. So that is what it is. And when we go to the next one, you see that equality. Now we talk about all methodologies being equal. But look at equality. If we are given the same resources to do research, if you're looking at all the research that has been done, look at where the global south is. It's still not over the fence. Okay, so we are being given a voice to historically overlooked or marginalized methodologies, yet it's still not there because we don't have the application of these methodologies. How do we apply it? What are the processes that we go through? How many people have used it in their research? So I move on to equity, which is very important. Now, we want to have a level playing field. We need more resources to push the global south up. We need more research methodologies to be, research approach to be used so that we can be a par. Now you can see that global south is over the fence and raising their hands. Now our methodologies are being used, they are being seen. And what we want is liberation, total liberation. So decolonization methodologies will bring together indigenous transformation and liberation. So when you are studying, I studied this paper, it's from Nigerian context, right? We want to give that liberation to them to tell their story, how they do it, the key things that are important to them. So let's go on to look at how we are going. Please tell me my time because I know I have only 8 minutes. So. Oh, okay. So key things are that I started with the first part, which is the transformational. If you look at social context when you're doing research, now epistemology, ontology, these are key things. But how do I use it when I'm trying to decolonize my research methodology? Remember, my topic is exploring the contextual factors of the nexus, that's the integration of competitive strategy and human resource management practices, right? So what we were looking at is actually decolonizing the SHRM literature. Because when you go to Nigeria, and just like Ghana, we were colonized. And therefore, our practices when it comes to SHRM means that we are looking at the global north approach. Most of the things are done in that way. But gradually, we are moving away from that to look at the key contextual factors that influences the integration. So let me go through the process quickly. For decolonization of your methodologies, there are key things that you have to do, which as a researcher, using transformational Prixie was what I did. It involves reflexivity, it involves action, and then transform. So we want a social change. But then the key thing is, how do I go about being reflexive? It's not about reflection. So you start from, there are 4 different areas that you have to look at. The personal, your personal background, your personal influences that you have gathered over the years. So here we come to the researcher, and then we look at the researcher self. What background or what information do I have which will influence the research that I'm doing? So I'm not taking global north into Nigeria, right? I want to come out of it. So it involves you understanding what the key thing, the influences you have, your key aspect when it comes to methodology, and disassociating yourself from it. So that's what we did. And then not only that, but we also looked at the culture, the researchers, the people that we are going to research. So we look at the characteristics of companies in Nigeria and characteristics of global north companies, and when it comes to HRM. And we're able to see that the contextual characteristics are different. For instance, religion plays a very good, important role in even decision making. Stress, here we talk about stress. Their family is stress-free, no medication, right? So we're looking at the key issues. What about labor, unskilled labor? What about when it comes to family, reverence? How does it play in there? So we look at all that. We look at the per capita income in there as well, because it's very important, and compared it with the global north. Now, what we did then is to look at the key contextual information, social, cultural, historical context, etc. So colonized country as well. And then we went to existing literature and the research methodology. So now let me explain how we did it. So the first part, which is the ontology, is the truth. What is the truth in Nigeria when it comes to SHRM, okay? What is their truth? Is it a rational approach or a prescriptive one? No, we realize that it's multiple realities, right? They don't have one reality. How do we know this truth? That's the epistemological approach. And I said we're using the transformational Prixie. So it means that we are looking at multiple epistemology. So our study didn't actually write, when you see the paper, it doesn't have the philosophy or the epistemology in there. But what we did was to use different approaches that will help. So social constructionism, critical theory with aspect of emancipation, because we want to empower them so that they can tell their stories, okay? And then from there, we moved on to methodology. We don't have time overview. And the methodology, we are trying to give them a voice. We are trying to get them to be able to talk so that we can co-create knowledge. So one aspect when we talk about social constructionism in our research, what we did was to co-create and learn from them. So we use the qualitative interview approach. But then even that, we became good listeners. It's very important in that. And then axiology was very, very important in qualitative. What is the value that it places on knowledge? So when it comes to SHRM, what we do is in the global north, we say when you do strategic approaches to your business, human resource, that is going to impact on performance. When we got there, the key issue was that, yes, we know that it could impact on performance, but the key issue is the moral aspect that influences, from the contextual view that influences it. So they were looking at that. So social relationship, religion, language, and family were very important to them in that. Now, when it came to data analysis, we analyzed the data from that perspective. Look, data collection, we had to listen to them. Sometimes they say things which you know that this is not the norm, but you don't have to correct them. That is their norm. You validate it with other information. One thing, I have only 1 minute. One thing that I have to say is ethics. We have 2 types of ethics when it comes to decolonization. The main one with the North, And then when you go there, you have to establish a relational ethics. So you have to build trust. Let them trust you to even give you information. You have to listen to them. Mutual respect is very, very important in that. So those were the things that we had to navigate. You also have to establish relationship to even get into collecting your data. So we use the Small Business Association initially, and then we went to the coordinators and the participants to be able to. And even that, with relational ethics, it was, is it over? Yeah. So I'll answer questions when it comes to the other bit, because I can't do this in 8 minutes.